everyone, I'm Wang. Today I will present HPPC, a DDR optimized high-performance packet cache for WAN nodes. In high BDP WAN links, even small random loss can seriously reduce transport for congestion-controlled reliable transports. Our goal is hope locally loss repair within one segment RTT transparently to TCP or RDMA ports. HPC places the cache in DDR and better cache operations into mostly sequential DDR bursts using a unified ring buffer, a concapt to level index, and a range classic indices repair, enabling strong good ports at 100 GB. But why one loss is so expensive at 100 G per second? This slide motivates the problem. Inter data center ones often have 100 G per second bad latency and 10 to more than 100 metasecond RTT, yielding a large BDP. For congestion-controlled reliable transport, even sub-percent random loss can collapse throughput due to long in-between feedback loops. Our practical goal is to recover losses within one segment RTT so loss does not help to pay a fall into the recovery pattern. This slide explains why per into the recovery is insufficient on high BDP paths compared across three options. In the host only, NAC only, and in-path node with DDR. Hope local recovery reduces the recovery RTT to roughly one segment, improves the memory scaling by replacing full RTT with segment RTT, and leverages abundant DDR accepted. The key is to keep the logical simple and sequential, otherwise DDR random access becomes the bottleneck. Why Hope local recovery need caching? Hope local ARQ works as follows. The downstream detects a sequence gap and sends NCK upstream. The upstream must quickly fetch missing packets for transmission. This requires buffering a sliding window of recent packets. The change is that DDR is large, but random access is expensive. Native per flow buffer linked lacks cause point caching. Poor row located and high read application. HPC is designed to make DDR access burst friendly. This is a deployment model. Two HPC capable nodes delimited one reliability segment. The upstream nodes forward packets and close payloads into DDR ring while updating the index. The downstream nodes monitors the per flow sequence communicator and issues NCK upon gaps. The upstream performs order 1 lookup and burst readback to transmit within one segment RTT with TCP or RDMA imports unchanged. This swimming line timeline shows the full repair circle within one segment RTT timesync. First, the upstream close payload into the DDR ring via sequential write. Second, the downstream checks per flow sequence communicated and generates a range NCK when a gap is detected. Second, the NCK propagates back to the upstream roughly on the order of half of timesync. Last, upon receiving the NCK, the upstream looks the index, classic adjacent missing ranges into long-range windows. Performance burst back from the ring and transmits in order. Here we symbolize the goals and congestions and constriction and constraints. Goal line rate caching and repair at 100 GB per second. Microsecond scale factor after NCK arriving scalable to more than 100 flows and large BDP under zero loss, and control the repair transaction without starving forwarding. Constraints: one chip's RAM is limited. DDR is sensitive to random access and small range, and we must wait per flow allocator or link the last management. One sentence ceremony. HPPC is a DDR resident packet cache that turns caching operations into sequential DDR bursts, while a unified ring and a concapt two-level index. Contributions as follows. First, a unified ring DDR ring shared by all flows with sequential write and circle overread. Second, the floor-aware two-level index enabling order one mapping from floor and sequence. Second, range-aware repair that classics NCK ranges into long burst reback to reduce read application. The fourth, for FPGA prototype with double DDR4 channel demonstrating line rate for 1,500 bits and strong glucose under loss with more than 1,000 floors. This slide shows the organization. Packet payloads are stored in DDR data ring with fixed burst aligned slot, while descriptors live in DDR index as level 1 director plus level 2 segment. On chip's RAM is minor, just a small hot level 1 cache and controlled FIFOs. The key properties are the data path is sequential and the index path is bounded order 1. And elastic sharing allows attacked flows to temporarily occupy more cache under a global cap without per flow reclamation. For each packet, the write paths are not three things. First, follow forward the packet on the orange path. Second, close the payload into DDR data ring using burst aligned sequential write. Second, append to address entry AE into DDR index recording ring offset and length. A single global write pointer awaits per flow fragmentation and circle overread. Deterministically invest the oldest bits. Later validate checks prevent using overwritten entries. This slide explains ring sizing. The ring must return packets long enough to recover one repair pipeline, clone, loss detection, security, readback, and retransmit. The guideline is C sub ring is greater than alpha times R times T sub seg, while R is segment rate. T subseg is segment identity, and alpha is greater than 1 private margin for burst loss, controlled jitter and overlaps. Implication using slot. C sub ring is equal to n sub slot times S sub slot, and S sub slot is chosen burst aligned. Explanation example as 100 G per second and 10 subsec equal to 2 millisecond. BDP is equal to 250 multimeters multibyte with alpha is equal to 1.2. Ring is optimally equal to 300 metabeta. This slide explains the order 1 mapping from floor sequence to the ring location. Level 1 is per floor directory SRAM cached for hot entries, storing the 4K current Windows pointer to the level 2 segment chains and the port tag. Level 2 consists of fixed size segments in DDR index, each holding key address entries for a sequence number circle. Compute data is equal to S sequence minus S many. Then the segment ID is given by equals the flow of data over key and AE under circle index equal data model. The select AE provides the ring of sight length for burst readback, while epoch-based validity checks prevent using overwrite or allocated entry. This slide presents athletic sharing one global segment pool with cap. Two queens are managed in DDR index of 3544 available segments, and the oldest 454 ordered by fill time to define a global application order. If no free segment is available, HPPC allocates the globally oldest 4 segments. This avoids per flow reclamation, reduces fragmentation, and depth to flow intensity. This slide describes the range of wear repair. The downstream detects gaps by checking per flow sequence communicate and generates NCK with flow ID and sequence range. The range NCK reduces control overhead and enable burst collecting. Upon receiving NCK, the upstream state and performs order 1 index lookups, merges adjacent AE into long read windows, and transmits packets in order. turning read back into long continuous bursts. Waiting file read application as this. A native chain-based cache suffers from pointer caching and the countered reads, leading to frequent row misses and HPC rings layouts and region NCK classic produce long contiguous read windows with fewer DDR comments, improving raw hit rates and pushing RA closer to 1. Potentially, this leaves more bandwidth for cloning, forwarding, and reduces time latency. This slide summarizes the prototype. An FPGA-based NCK on silence will take the ultra-scale W9P class with two independent DDR terminals, DDR data for payload ring and DDR index for index meta. This pipeline includes PERS, CloNG, ring writer, NCK handle, index lookup, and readback schedule transmit. A key design choice is to isolating payloads bursts from metadata traffic to reduce congestion. We are related using two HPC capable nodes for missing in-path reliability segment. A configurable emulator inject controlled random loss and fixed RTT. Measurements are MASI, MHI, W9P with double DDR, driven by EXA. With one emulator, RTT is equal to 100 metasecond. We report well-level transport, groups, and verify residual loss at receiver. We compared against the two baseline along DDR access pattern, metadata location, and skill bottleneck. HPC uses sequential bursts, wiring layout, and region CK classing, with metadata in DDR index passing a small on-chip level 1 cache. The chain-based cache incurs random access and pointer caching, leading to raw misses and high-read application with poor skill access flows. A flat index may allow sequential data access but causes random metadata access, limited by RAM capability or actual DDR transaction. This setup HPC is designed for burst-friendly DDR access at 100 GB. This slide defined what we report. First is good put. The using payload rate delivers the receiver, excluding losses and transmissions overhead. Second, normalized good puts dividing by the zero losses baseline for each packet size. Second, the packet rate is diagnose PPS bottlenecks. Then fourth is read application. DDR byte read per retrace second bytes, and the last is report curves versus loss rate per second per packet size, placing a packet size sweep as a fixed loss rate. The result as follows. The first picture shows absolutely good put versus random loss rate for presentative packet size. Good put is nearly line rate as zero loss and decreases smoothly as loss increases with netted inferences. The statement at 1% losses, good puts remains more than 95 GB per second for 1040 248 byte and 4096 byte。About 95 GB per second for 1050 byte packet. The two fingers normalizes each size by its own zero loss baseline. The overlap for more than 1050 bytes indicates the degradation is large size invariant, suggesting loss primarily increases DDR readback bandwidth verification rather than lookup cost. The last one, sweep packet size at fixed loss 0.1%, 1%, 5%. The pioneer show for indicates packet rate processing limited rather than cache misses or DDR contaction. Overall, degradation is smooth and predictable. Consistent with sequential read plus range classic readback design. Results are VGP and DDR4 prototype with Excel tester as start with in completion. This slide discusses why HPPC works and what remains. It works because payload caching is a global sequential DDR data ring. Repairs use ridge classing to reproduce long DDR bursts, and indexing uses bounded two-level order 1 mapping with controlled DDR index accesses, placing elastic segment pooling across floor. Limitation including application on a single platform with significant traffic, need a real WAN trans and a single segment deployment, multi-hoop interaction not explored. Next steps include exploring SmartNIC realization and timer integration with routing FEC congestion control. The key takeaway: hoop local recovery needs a line rate slide window cache. DDR provides a capability only if access is burst friendly. A unified ring plus concapt two-level index makes caching mostly sequential. The prototype shows strong good puts under no zero loss at 100 GB. Next steps: real WAN trace, multi-segment and exploring SmartNIC designs with timer congestion controlled integration. Final acknowledge and reference visit WAN deployment experiences papers as follows. Thank you for your listen. That's all.